the reaction from our followers or people that support our music. I hate the word fans. I see that with fans as Bay City Rollers.
I see.
Yeah. But our followers of our music, or certainly the genre music, has been really positive, and I haven't had one person say, well, this should continue as an Asia-ish project. People all see it. People, everything's been pretty public about this band of what what's happened and the trials and tribulations.
Right.
People externally get pissed off when people leave bands, and it's like any relationship it's hard enough, in a relationship with your partner to stay together, let alone 4 hairy-ass guys or 5 guys in a band, all getting older, all being pulled left and right with, you change as you get older, the responsibilities of bills and children and all those things change a lot of bands.
Right. And we're also talking about intensely creative people.
Yeah.
And that makes it even more complicated. It isn't a situation where there's one guy writing all the music and producing everything, and then you just have a bunch of other guys in the band kind of playing the notes.
Yeah.
I think everyone in this band over the years has been just a superlative musician.
The history
and capable of doing music
Asia,
on their own, which they have.
From the beginning, it was put together as a supergroup with great, the best musicians from the top progressive rock bands.
Right.
It came together to almost write a pop record.
Yes.
Which it was seen 2 ways, but that first tour, they didn't expect it to explode quite the way that it did, and the following was mainstream. They almost lost some of the prog followers.
They did. Yes.
People that would be listening to Fragile probably wouldn't be hopping up and down in their white shorts to Don't Cry.
That's right.
So
they were looking for a combination of the Yes Drama album with the King Crimson Red album.
Yeah.
Because you had these guys now working together, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer Brain Salad Surgery. So
really, it was the right decision. Things had changed from the 80s
right.
to the 70s. If they'd gone King Crimson, Fragile, they wouldn't have got any radio.
They would have sold tens, if not hundreds, of copies.
Yeah, and returned thousands. We kind of have wound the wheel back a bit, because we're very much so, and that's one thing I really liked about the Wet and Downs thing, that they were very strong in song sensibility.
Right.
Songs were always very, very important to both Jeff and John, lyrically and melodically. And with Dukes of the Orient, we've continued that, but we've also injected a lot of progressive stuff. We've injected
right.
A lot of vintage stuff as regards sounds.
I would call it classic as opposed to vintage, because I never want to fetishize the instruments. Like, oh, so I'm using this because it's here it comes.
As a person, at your fine young age of 32.
Yes, 18 years ago.
You're classic or vintage?
Oh, I think I'm just old at this point, but perhaps classic.
I would say I'm vintage neoclassic.
I see.
Metrosexual. That's
well,
probably,
you certainly have the trousers.
I do.
Yes.
I do, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of interesting followers because of these trousers. Thank you for everybody tuning in to our ambling story about an album that has been taken 10 years to do, something that we're really proud of, something that will be with us for a long time. We're going to put it out in vinyl. We're going to put it out digitally. We're going to put it out on CD.
We've canceled the cassette release.
The cassette release peaked at 4 sales.
Right.
So the Kickstarter on that, we managed to pull in $2.4 million on the Kickstarter.
Right.
But I'm sadly to say the 4 people that ordered the cassettes are not getting them.
Right. So we'll have to refund the money.
We'll refund them. Give this album a listen. There's a lot of work that's gone in these 10 years with a little sleep in the middle.
Great.
And Dukes of the Orient has been born.